17 million people have reported seeing cruelty overseas from the UK when they've been travelling, and 1 in 10 of those said it completely spoiled their holidays. Spain has come out top of the list. I think there's a geographical association there. More people are probably travelling to Spain than they are to Thailand and India that come second and third on that list. What are the sorts of things they're reporting? Well, Spain, well, some parts of Spain still allow wild animals in circuses, tigers, lions, elephants, zebras, etc. That's been outlawed in the UK. So people are not used to seeing that anymore. And we've satisfied ourselves that we can't adequately keep these creatures in a circus environment. And therefore it's been outlawed. Dolphinaria are still available to visit in Spain. And again, in the UK, we haven't had any cetaceans in captivity for a long time now. And we know full well that we can't really replicate their conditions in captivity. So that's been outlawed. On the beaches, apes and monkeys being used for selfies. It's still going on. Southern Spain, the Canaries, couple of euros, €5, have a selfie. It's one for you. It's the 500th a day for that ape or that monkey. And we know that those animals, again, are not being kept in brilliant conditions. But then it's not just exotic animals. In many Spanish cities, in fact, in many cities all over the world, so we mustn't focus solely on Spain here, you can take a horse and carriage ride around the city, and where people report to us that the animals are often in poor condition. They have problems with their hooves, walking on tarmac all day, that there's not sufficient shade, they don't get enough water, food, they've got other medical conditions. So it really is a plethora of things that people are reporting. But of course, those that are occurring in Europe, we should be able to exert the greatest influence of. And what we're saying to our travellers is if you do see things, then please to report them to us. We've got a reason for that. We want to update a piece of legislation that we have in the UK, which lacks detail at the moment. So we need your observations to generate the data, which will be presented in the form of that detail. Also, English-speaking people in other parts of Europe, ask them about the conditions, make your views known if that's an appropriate thing to do, or if not, share within that, your traveling tourist community. I'm not paying for one of those selfies. I think that monkey's not being treated particularly well. Think about that yourself. So share that, because it's only through that sort of very powerful protest of the pound or euro in our pocket that we can influence these sorts of changes.
Bringing the issue to Gibraltar, obviously a lot of tourists here do go to Spain, but here in Gibraltar itself, the biggest interaction with wildlife for Gibraltar tourists are our famous Barbary macaques that live in the Upper Rock Nature Reserve. So what's your advice to those visiting here and to Gibraltar itself in terms of creating a safe environment for the monkeys and wildlife, and also for the tourists and locals who interact with them?
Well, I can say that I've had the great pleasure of visiting Gibraltar on a number of occasions. 2 occasions I went out into the bay and saw the dolphins. It was absolutely fantastic. We witnessed the animals behaving brilliantly at a safe distance. The tourism was well managed. I can't see that in any way, shape or form it was going to be harmful to those animals, their behaviour, their ecology and so on and so forth. It was great, responsible ecotourism. So as a visitor to Gibraltar, that's one thing I would definitely have on my list. And then, of course, you mentioned the macaques, this unique population of the animals which are typically found in Africa but live on the rock. Enchanting animals, fascinating to watch, lots of different social behavior going on. The key thing is, as you'll know, don't feed them. That's the first thing, because if you feed them, they'll associate humans with food and they'll come looking for food, whether you've got it or not. When I've been looking at those macaques on the rock, there have been guides there. Listen to the guides. These are the local people. They've got the local knowledge. They know those animals as individuals. They know which macaque is which. So again, take local advice, follow local protocols. If there are bylaws in place or just good advice, listen to that good advice. Watch those macaques from a safe distance. As I say, they're enchanting, fascinating animals. And the backdrop of the rock, is absolutely sensational. Who wants a selfie of a monkey sat on your shoulder when you can take a picture of it with the vista of Gibraltar behind it, or looking out over the Mediterranean and the Atlantic towards the coast of Spain? I've got some sensational photos there, and I never went anywhere near one of the macaques.